Hey guys, welcome to this video. My name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer. And if you are dealing with debt collectors, it is almost certain that you either now or in the past have dealt with a company called Midland or Midland Credit Management, Midland Funding. Most people will deal with Midland Credit Management. And I have on the screen here Midland Credit Management debunking debt collection myths. I thought this might be interesting to go through this and see what they say. And knowing more about debt collection puts you in control. Well, that's right. The more you know about your rights and your options and the dangers, then the better decisions you can make. Let's see if I can make this screen a little bit bigger. Maybe this will be easier. So it says myths about debt collection can make it harder to put your unpaid debt behind you. That's true. It can be difficult to know what to do because there's a lot of bad information out there. That's true. And we'll see some bad information on this website here. Midland Credit Management is here to help you get the facts by debunking some common debt collection myths. And it says, here's the truth. So ignoring calls and letters from debt collectors is a good idea. And it says false. Ignoring calls from debt collector will not stop the collection process, and they have flexible repayment plans. And I would agree with that. Just ignoring the calls, ignoring the letters, in other words, taking no action is very, very rarely the best thing to do. Normally, you're much better off taking some action. It might be calling the collector, it might be sending the collector a letter, it might be doing disputes on your credit report, but it's almost always better to take some action. So I do agree with them on that. And then they say, a charge-off means I don't have to pay. This is a very common belief. And it says false. It's a common misunderstanding that if debt's charged off, you don't have to repay it. Consumers are still responsible for all outstanding debts. What makes a charged-off debt different is you may have to pay a new creditor that purchased the charged-off debt. Well, I would agree with that in general, that just because an account's charged off, that does not mean that we no longer owe it. It's really an accounting function to say that it's been charged off. Now, where I would start to disagree with them is about, new creditor that's purchased the charge-off debt, having defended, I don't know, at this point, probably 800 Midland lawsuits. I've never seen them actually prove that they bought the debt. So it's a little, odd for them to say this. But let's look at this next one. A debt collector cannot verify the account is yours. They say that's false. Well, I mean, that's I see where they're coming from, but some collectors can verify and many cannot verify. So I'm not sure I would call that a myth, but let's see what they say. Reputable collection agencies always have account information. Well, that's pretty strong language. They always have account information. Now, we'd have to sort of define what does account information mean. And Midland certainly knows, because they've been hammered by the CFPB a couple times over this, not having the original account level documentation. But what do they mean by account information? Does that mean your name and number and address and how much you owe? Or does that mean like the terms and conditions, any signed application if there is one? Does that mean all the statements? Well, no, they don't have that. It says you have the right to request this information. Debt collectors have a job to make sure they're collecting from the right people. Well, that's true. I do agree with Midland on that. They are obligated by law only collect from somebody who owes the debt. In other words, going on, it says they have carefully determined the responsible party before contacting consumer. Well, that's an amazing statement considering how many times they get this wrong. So that's interesting. They say reputable collection agencies, in other words, collection agencies that have a good reputation. Well, that would exclude a whole bunch of them. And I can tell you that these guys, they will go after the wrong person. And so the idea that if you get a collection call or a letter, that you can just go, oh, well, I trust that this reputable debt collector has carefully determined that I'm the responsible party. No, that is a myth. Okay, that's absolutely a myth. That's false. So never assume these guys know what they're doing. Never assume that they have the information that you request. And think about it. They show up in trial without this information. If they don't bring it to trial, why would they send it to you? Why would they have it when they first contact you? So debt collectors are not flexible when it comes to paying back debt. They say false. They do have a lot of flexibility. And look, that's true. Now, again, we have to define what is flexibility. But I think Midland probably does a good job of giving you sort of a whole set of options. It might be a lump sum, might be 2 or 3 payments, or it might be a year or two worth of payments. So they do that. And let's see, past due debt and you, if you have an account with Midland, you can go to our secure payment portal, click to chat to get answers fast. Our expert account man, well, it's nice to know they're experts. I'll have to remember that. Also are available to answer your questions, help you understand your options. Best way for you to resolve your past due debt. So, look, some of the things they say I think are true. I mean, let's go back at them, look at them. Knowing more about debt collection, yeah, that's always better. Ignoring calls and letters is a good idea. Yeah, I agree that's not a good idea. Charge off, yeah, you still have to pay. A debt collector can't verify the account. Well, a lot of them cannot verify the account or what they consider verification. And it may even be fine under the law, but it doesn't give you enough information to know, does this company really have the right to collect this debt? And do they really have the information showing that the amount they're collecting is true? And that's where these guys really, really struggle with. And, you know, what the thing about it is sometimes what you ask for before a lawsuit, they may not have to give you a whole lot, although it kind of depends on how you word it. And we have a video on this maybe a week or so ago. But when they sue you, see, now we don't care about, you know, have you verified this debt? They've got to prove their debt in court. And that's where they come up short. Now, do they always come up short? I can say that, you know, we've had tremendous success against these collectors and these debt buyers. It may be different in the next case or in your case or somewhere else, but this is something that they routinely struggle with. And all the lawyers I talk to in other states have the same issue, that these guys just struggle proving their case. So there are some myths out there, and some are held by consumers, you know, that, you know, best just to bury our head in the sand, not even respond to a debt collector. That's usually not true. But there are myths out there that these collectors put out into the world and say, oh, well, if we're contacting you, then we've carefully verified that you owe it. Or if we sue you, you owe the debt, or we have the proof. No, I would challenge them on that. So hope you found this helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.